Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be with y'all today. Good to see you, Kit. Good to see you, KMX. Good to see you, Beer Fox. Good to see you, Ari of Legend. And I hope you all are doing well. And Kit, congratulations. You have won the crown of Furstendom. The crown of, we need to level off the top of a mountain because we're starting a new project. Yeah. 2 days in a row of Minecraft because I didn't realize how close I was to the end of the other game. Yeah, my bad. Something tells me we'll survive. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's dive on into it. So, I need a new gym because my other gym is up there in the mountains and it's so high up that Pokemon cannot spawn. So I was thinking, why don't we build something for my other gym type, that being Bug. That's a big Raikou, and it's exactly where I'm trying to build. Anyway, so what I was thinking... Daedalus! It is Cobble Day. Was a greenhouse, a botanical garden, in the style of the... Peter the Great? It's named after one of the Tsars. It's in Russia, and what it looks like is what it will look like at the end is basically like a cube, but the lower 2/3 are going to like bow out slightly. So a top-down view, it's going to be kind of a squat plus sign. And then in the middle is going to be concentric rings. So we're going to have water, and then a place for the Pokemon to fight, and then water, and then a place for the people to stand, then water, and then the rest of the gym. So we're going to do that. So I thought this hill would be of a sufficient size. And I think we're going to start building on... I think this is the level we're going to build on. Chicken jockey! Whatever I heard. So why don't we clear off all the trees first? Raikou, get down from there. All the foxes squeaking. You eat the chicken jockey. You eat a zombie? That seems like a bad idea. Sorry, apricorn tree, you have to go. Why is that auto-modded? So we're going to clear off this part of the ground for now. We'll shape it as we figure out how big the circles are going to be. Why was that auto-modded? I don't know! And what I'm thinking for the structural pieces, so the thing will be built out of glass cubes, but what we'll do is have the corners be white concrete pillars with iron bars that attach on either side. Twitch just likes Resident Evil references. Capcom didn't pay enough. It's a big pig. I really need to get some better diamond gear at some point. I have enough diamonds. And I have enough levels. I could do some enchanting. But I need things with, like, silk touch, efficiency, mending. I need to find out if someone in the server has a villager with mending books for sale. There's a surprising number of Capcom terms that get auto-modded. I should say so. Have you been trying them? Because if you have, they've been ultra auto-modded. Mega Man. Mega Man. No, that's just auto-modded by Capcom themselves. One of the main bosses from Breath of Fire. Okay. I have not played enough Breath of Fire to know. Because I had it on my 3DS and I played about 3 minutes of it and said, oh, that's cool, I'll get back to it someday. The English name. I figured. As such. I think we bring this down one more level. Does it have some unfortunate shortening that makes it into a bad word? Is that it? Because that feels like something the censors should have caught, but didn't. No, Bedward I was familiar with until Twitch started auto-modding. Ah! You must watch a sufficient amount of, Breath of Fire streamers, then. Yeah, Dot is verboten. Lurk, hey, thank you for the lurk, Bacon. Something fluttered into my eye. Breath of Fire is one of your favorite series. Ooh, nice. I really should give it another look someday. I still have my 3DS, so... Although I got scared. I wanted to play Majora's Mask on it. Not that long ago. And, of course, the battery was dead. It took a little while to get it to come out and charge, but it was having trouble reading everything on my SD card on it. And I'm like, oh no, have I lost all my data? And I'm pretty sure the SD card is somewhat corrupted because I can't extract all the data. But so long as it's been charged for a little while and I let it boot and load, I can access everything. But if it's been sitting idle for too long... Capcom has been putting the first two games of the series on their official Captown site to play in browser often. Oh, that's cool. I should check that out. I mean, the first two were Super Nintendo, right? I mean, part of me wouldn't mind just having those in my collection if they are. I'll put a lot of this back, but for now I'm just going to move it out of the way. They also had a GBA version. Well, that makes sense, given that the GBA was basically a portable Super Nintendo with a slightly lower resolution. Okay, fairly expensive. Yeah, a lot of... anything good on the Super Nintendo is these days. I regret not buying... Earthbound. Even just as an investment. Let's say la vie. Easy to legally get another way. Nice. Well, I was happy the other day on Steam. Ys 1 and 2 were on sale for $5 total. And I quite like the Ys series. But I've only played 8, 9, and 10, so I'd love to play more of the older ones. So seeing that, I'm like, yeah. Okay, I think we're going to center the gym... kind of around here-ish. So I kind of want to build across. Yeah, it's the Origins Plus version. It's 1 and 2. Thank you, Ami, for the raid. Welcome on in, Raiders. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had fun with the rest of the Smash clone thing. I already forgot its name. Rivals of Marvel Aether Driftborn. I don't know. Game to now. You rest. Get a good rest if you have to raid and dash. Totally get it. Most popular select the series. Huh. See, and the nice thing is by bridging this area, you can make a nice, large, flat area that looks very natural. Something is very upset with me. That's what that little poof cloud is, but it's... Oh my goodness! What? No! Sir, you are impossibly tiny. I can't even see you. Just as long as you don't tell me it was on the Vita. The Vita had no games. It means life. You liked your Vita? Well, I'm glad you liked it. Still had no games on it. Just had a weird bad meeting. It's probably fine, but I don't know how the recommendation conclusion were made. Job is job. Oh, oof. Well, it's done at least. Spouse's Vita is in your line of sight. He also loved his Vita. Emphasis on the past tense. It is a shame. I have no need for it, but there's a part of me that wishes I had kept my PS3. But not badly enough to obviously go out and like buy one. Because I got mine. I got like a $100 off coupon from GameStop because it was just after the PSN crash. It was actually even before PSN came back online. And they were just desperate to move units. It's a shame that Vita had no Vita. But I wound up selling it to back to GameStop to help pay for my original Switch. Okay, your original PS3 for free. Nice. Yeah, one of my roommates in college had the original PS3, the like printer-sized one. It was ludicrous in its size. Sir? Sir? Oh, you're upset? Oh yeah, no, it was super capable of things. It was like for its time, it was very powerful, but just like I remember seeing news conferences about it, like for its release, and then like hearing about its size, and then seeing it in person in my dorm room. I'm like, holy cow, that thing's massive. Rotata. How you doing, kid? In today's gospel, Jesus says it's a prayer of Jesus addressed to the Father, and it's a very theologically rich prayer, and it can be used to teach us how to pray and a lot about the relationship between the Father and the Son. But what always stands out to me is the line that they may be one, ut unum sint in Latin. It's the title of a papal encyclical on ecumenical dialogue by St. Pope John Paul II. Beautiful document, by the way. I highly recommend reading it if you want to know more about the Catholics' view and stance and practice of ecumenism. But it is a reminder of the way that God calls us to that oneness in the body of Christ, and what that brings sort of to the table, as it were, in seeking unity and living it out. That unity is not an optional feature of Christian faith. Okay, we're gonna have to extend the hill over to this way too. So why don't we go about there? Yeah, the backwards compatibility on the PS3 was real nice. I'm out of dirt. Wait, I should actually drop off a bunch of the stuff in my inventory before I go get more dirt, so I can carry even more dirt. Okay, have fun in Agile. See you in 90 seconds. Oh dear. Endgame boss crash. That's unfortunate. Aha, pay dirt. Man, crashes can be so demoralizing too. Because it can just make you feel like, nah, I don't even feel like going back to that boss. This makes me want to replay Xenogears. I have only ever played... The only Xeno game I've played is the one with Shulk. I enjoyed it. Felt it was a little long, but I guess that's the Xeno games thing. You're substantially into a cutscene. And let me guess, no skippable cutscenes. 11-minute Riku cutscene, let's go. Hey, Greg. Ow. Ow. Zombie lit me on fire. Stares at Square Enix. Well, neither of those are Final Fantasy VII, so how do you expect them to make money? Square Enix has been doing a live release. Yeah, they have. Hey, Greg, congrats on the 5-stream streak. Yeah, it's their list is sometimes a little odd. And then sometimes their ports just aren't that good. Look at the Chrono Trigger port. The fact that that took almost a... How long did it take? Like almost a year, I think, before they implemented all the quote-unquote quality of life things that really just brought the game to parity with the Super Nintendo original. Hey, JM. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Must be super crunch season for you. And those kids ready for their confirmation. Re-release of Einlander? Einhander? Is it Einhander or Einlander? Either way, I've heard good things. "59 kids being confirmed." My goodness, that's a lot. Einhander. Okay. I suppose it's really Einhander, but... Banquet celebrating student leaders and those graduating. Hey, that's sweet. Have fun. Take care. Okay, that should give me decent room for starting, because I need to make quite a few concentric circles. So we'll start pretty simply with a little water pond like this. And then a ring of 2 around for Pokemon to stand on. Or maybe 3, because some Pokemon are pretty big. Then 2 for our trainers. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of what it's going to look like. So I need to figure out how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 10 wide. I have my Minecraft circle chart pulled up. I'm going to go grab the blocks that I want to replace these. So what I was thinking is using Tough. Chrono Trigger character does ever show up in Xenogears? Really? Huh. And I was thinking this, the tough bricks. And in between each ring, we're going to build, like, little bridges. I'm going to need so much more tough. Okay, so if that was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Carry the 2 is 13. Final Fantasy 13 versus. Is that you? First off, it was versus 13. Okay, well, my apologies for misremembering the dead game. Two is your favorite Final Fantasy. I have never played any of the 13s. Because I didn't know how I felt about Infinite Hallways. Apparently, it eventually becomes very open world, but yeah, it has a rough start. Didn't like 10 for the same reason. That's entirely fair. I think 10 has a very... I like 10's story. It was actually the second Final Fantasy I'd ever played. Ten gives you Blitzball. Status effects actually matter. See, that's actually much more interesting. Okay, so that was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I mean, it has... I don't know if it has Bender voicing a Hawaiian dude. It has the same voice actor. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Just poison the boss, Fivehead. Well, struggle no more, K-Max. Now you have a winning solution. A Blitzball game with a recruitment RPG game. Oh, don't tempt Gale. Gale loves Blitzball. You do too? Oh dear. Now I want to see the two of you play each other in Blitzball. Okay, so that's the outer water ring. It's 22, 20, 18. Ooh, although I don't have nearly enough tough to do this ring. So we're gonna go get more. Oh no, does the end of Final Fantasy 13 turn into a children's game? Where's Lightning? It's the sequel to Where's Mario? Where's Lightning? This is an interesting pivot. Wait, if his name is Max Goof, does that mean that Goofy's name is just Goofy Goof? What's your last name? Mario. No, I said your last name. It is Mario. I'm Luigi Mario, and he's Mario Mario. Goofy's a nickname? No. I choose to believe that is his baptismal name from birth. What do you mean spooky noises? There's not supposed to be spooky noises around here. Why is there this blue around me? Of the deep dark. Yeah, but I'm not at the deep dark. It's also very dark in here. It spreads! That coward. I can't believe it spreads. That sounds like a discount horror novel. Like about gray goo or something. I can't believe it spreads. Oozes? No. No slime against humanity. With Flample... I can't see where I am. There we go. Frevenis is spreading. Yeah, but the tides aren't growing. I think I have to rethink the strategy. Hey, Clemente. Priest and Imam and a rabbit walk into a bar. Rabbit says, I think I'm a typo. Well, of course I said correctly. I know how to say Clemente. Hey, Salsa. Angel Boy has returned to VTubing. I don't know Angel Boy. And the staircase is triggering you? Why? Do you hate stairs? Oh, you're the angel. Oh, okay. You have returned. Oh, okay, cool. Congrats. I thought Angel Boy was maybe the name of another VTuber. Which, to be fair, it's not a bad name for a VTuber. Look at our sparkling lights. Bring this back over. It's temporary staircase, right? Like not your regular mine? That is my what? I don't do a starter mine and then a later mine. I just mine. It's mine. Like, do you want me to put actual stairs in it? That sounds like effort. I'm busy building things. Savages. This isn't Factorio. Jennifer, stop bonking your head. No. You can't make me, Dad. A mine is a terrible thing to waste. Maybe I don't want to follow in your footsteps, Dad. And become a miner like you. Boofalot, you're too big. Please go that way. You were distressed. Hi, distressed. I'm father. Boofalot, please. Boofalot. Your hitbox is ridiculous. Oh, that's thunder. That's bad. Gotta sleep through the storm. I'm distressed. You're distressing. Just do your hair and move a lot. I don't think this works the way I want it to. No, it doesn't. Although that works. Then I may as well just... Would you call it a bulbous bouffalant? Would that it be a bulbous? It's very safe. It's always bouffafull. I'm big. I'm brave. I'm bouffafull. Macadamia gazebo bulbous bouffant. What? I'm pretty peckish. Like my stomach's rumbling a little. Nand1! Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Song from the Vestibules. Okay, can't say that I know him. Okay, so that is our fighting ring. Go ahead and close that. So what I'm thinking is we'll have, like... The idea is that you and your opponent facing off, and on the other sides we'll have little bridges. So a little bridge there, little bridge there. I want my water buckets. And I will be sourcing some lily pads. I thought a botanical garden like this would be a good bug gym because you can put a lot of flowers in, trees, you know, make kind of a humid. Well, you don't get humidity in Minecraft, but you know what I mean. Like a greenhouse is a pretty humid environment, and it seems like the kind of place that bugs would thrive. I'm not going to fill in this ring yet because, well, actually, no, it will be grass, so I can, yeah. Hello, Mel. We're cloning water. We are indeed doing the Minecraft magic trick. 2 source blocks equals infinite water. Nestle executives hate this. One simple trick for infinite water. Look, water is a human right. Okay, there we go. Now we get to figure out where the corners are. So for that, we're going to use white concrete. We have all this powder left over from the Colonial Hall. Water is a human, right? Yes. Hello, let me introduce you to Mr. Water. So I don't think it needs to be terribly large. I want it to be big enough that like we might be able to have a tree or two here in the corner. But that's a little easier. So if it's like 2, 3 out. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So is this on the fourth line? It is. Okay, so this needs to go here. Humans are 80% water. Now you're traversing into some weird ontological questions and roads. Okay, so that's one corner done. So now we need to line up this one. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Cool. Special job offer by the end of the week. Hey, that's so exciting. So 1, 2, 3. On that one. And this last corner is gonna need to be pretty built out. That's okay, K-Max. They probably have strong opinions too, so. We will worry about shaping this corner of the hill later. Okay, so lines up, lines up. Woman answering the door was wearing her own brown scapular. Let's go. Okay, I could do with a quick bio break. So we're going to do that. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few-ish minutes, but take a chance to get up, stretch your legs, get a drink water, do what you need to do, and we will be right back. We are back, and the first message I see in chat is Portuguese sausage. Yes. You live 2 streets away in Honolulu? That's wild. Okay, so let me show you what I'm kind of thinking with the Ist ein klein Welt überall. Oh, I need more dirt, because that's... I'm going to need space around. Days in office, 2 work from home. It's a good balance. That seems to be the normal balance now. We do 2 days in office, 3 work from home, which unfortunately for me means 5 work from home. And also 5 work in the office because it's the same place. But, you know, increasingly, like most people I know work in office. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday and Monday are work from home. All office work for you. Well, yeah. You kind of have to be able to physically get to the server sometimes, so... Okay, so this is kind of what I was thinking for the walls, is we'll have kind of these anchor points like this. Probably show it better over here. That way there's kind of this notched corner. But you can see the pillar, so the idea is that like the pillar is the main support piece. And then we're going to have a very steep curved wall. So if we do it from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3. And then 1. And the idea is that that's how the wall extends out. And at the end cap here, like this will all be where this meets here will all be glass. So in essence, and then where it meets up here, it becomes kind of just a square little roof above it. You know, being able to work from home. It's pretty good for me. I can't do it in my pajamas though. Why are the Pokemon so angsty today? You're too close to your bed and you will take a nap. I do have a Silk Touch pickaxe, but I don't have it on me. So then this... So the wall gets built up like that. So there is like a little nook in here. And so we'll have 4 of those. You know what I'm... So do you understand kind of what my vision is now? Have I established the blueprint well enough? I'm thinking this, I'm actually going to make concrete too. I think, but I don't know what you're building. I'm building a greenhouse. And it's built in the style of the Peter the Great Botanical Garden greenhouse. If you Google it, you'll see what I mean. That is a huge mill tank. Hey there, Hope. Have fun getting things ready for dinner. Take care, Kit. Okay, so that's our corners established. We're gonna need a lot more sand to complete this. Zithra spaghetti. I've just got the Mario Hotel spaghetti sound effect in my head. Let's make a couple more spoons. Let's go get some sand. It's Phoenix City. I don't think it matters what kind of sand it is. I don't think that changes the color. I'm just gonna get way more sand than I think I need, and somehow it still won't be enough. So who's excited for the Papal Encyclical dropping Monday? I hate sand. Quite intrigued. Yeah, no, so am I. I mean, human dignity in AI, it's kind of a timely and important thing to talk about. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes of it. It's really cool that he's presenting it. That is really unusual. Because most of the times when popes publish their encyclicals and exhortations, they aren't there as the actual person presenting it. They're busy doing other papal things. So the fact that he's setting that time aside is kind of huge. Yeah, no, it definitely has echoes of Rerum Novarum and the whole Catholic social teaching and encyclical tradition. So we will see what comes of it. I did not get an advanced copy. That would be pretty sick if I did, though. Because I'm pretty sure some theologians and like reviewers and whatnot do get advanced copies. They only got the basic copy. I got the free copy. Add support. I turned the page. This encyclical brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, that's its own unfortunate thing that we have turned Memorial Day into a Labor Day. And not a day of remembrance. Pope Leo knows exactly what he's doing. Well, beyond mixing them up, I mean, we do. Sudden dinner? Sudden dinner. Finish sex. Carol, is that rental? it's out 3. Okay. Wins by 3. Okay. I don't mind this necessarily being built on a cliff. Out, Zigzagoon. Okay, so we have that big old cliff face there. Bacon is 80% water. Hi, 80% water. I'm father. Peter's only 75% water until someone redeems the hydrate command. Sir Bacon is cured. Boo. That's almost as bad as one of my jokes. Speaking of which, Arium has redeemed a father joke. You know, we all have different ways of managing our stress and, you know, handling, you know, when things are getting hard. For me, I like to iron my clothes, you know. It's just something about it just really helps me let off steam. I don't think that is a fun fact, Brayherd. Boo the joke. I mean, that's valid. Are we entombing a sheep? His name's Amontillado. I'm back. Wow, that was fast, Mizithra. She laughing at father jokes is spiritual work of mercy. Good fun groans. That is the perfectly natural response, and heaven probably groans with you. Spiritual work of justice. Thousand injuries of Fortunato I have borne best I could, but when he ventured upon insult, I vowed revenge. Maybe you should talk to your therapist, buddy. Oh, I should go find my scaffolding at some point. Because that's now hidden somewhere in the midst of my garage, basically. And I'll probably want it at some point to finish this build. Is this vanilla gameplay? Yeah, the Pokemon are perfectly vanilla. No therapy needs, just underground wine cellar vault mausoleum. You sure about that? Boom. One wall is completed. Oh, what daily poll? Who would you rather have as your confessor? John Vianney? Padre Pio. Oh, Vianney. I'll give him a potato. He'll be so happy. Dressed baked potato? No, he just ate raw potato. That was the staple of his diet. He almost always had a potato in his cassock. Yeah, the Kier d'Ars. It's a interesting fellow. What about Philip Neri's confessor? Absolutely yes. I am prepared to be given a unique penance in some way, like walking his dog. Yeah, look at that. We had all that sand. We barely finished one wall. I might replace the dirt down here with red and white concrete so it looks more like a Pokeball since it is a Pokegym. I do want like a big... this mod has big lily pads. Where would I even... Okay, that looks pretty cool. I need to find like a... Yeah, maybe like a rainforest or... I need to find something tropical. Probably Sheen. Love like Enchanted Tangle. Surprisingly enough. Let's go check out the river that's down by Pallet Town. See what. see what we can find in the way of lily pads. There are ones you can make using another mod, but they're really kind of janky to place. Garonix, thank you for the raid. Welcome on in, Raiders. We are busy looking for some lily pads to put in our Poke Gym. Oh, nope. Heracross. Nope. Heracross. Land safely. Thank you. You can see the buildings of our base over there. Gonna go south, check out that river there. Although what I really need to find is a swamp. I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking for visually in terms of swamp on this mini-map. There's a moor in there somewhere. Can you fly on a Pidgeot? Yes. I think this was Hal's starting base. He has since abandoned it. I don't want to take anything just in case. Hello, map? There we go. That was weird. Jakarta Jungle. Jakarta Jungle doesn't really have water. Yep. I'm hearing... Oh, that... Yep, okay, bye. Hi, man. Italian. You're not Sir Bacon after all. I'm confused. Since... You're Sir Prosciutto. Oh, okay. Thank you. I was confused there for a moment. Sparse Jungle might have something. So it's basically due north of here. Let's see if we can find a bed. There we go. Whoa. Calmage has been busy. This looks pretty cool. It doesn't help me. Sir Guanciale. Guanciale. Yeah, I was already hungry. Now it's worse. Are there like no swamps? We have so many biomes that just swamps got pushed out. Serpentia. Great minds. Got the, y'all are sharing the brain cell today. That's why I can't find any swamps. Y'all are hogging the brain cell. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to look more on the map / consult the others on the server. Do we give the brain cell back? Probably not. I'm gonna need it tomorrow, I'll tell you that much. Because tomorrow we're playing Monkey Island 2. Job and refusing the back. Oh, it's before stream. Oh, okay. It's fine. It's fine. I think that's where we're gonna call it. Feel like we made really good progress on starting our gym since this hill wasn't here for the most part in between the two peaks. We shaped out the entire fighting arena. And we've shaped one of the 4 walls, and then we'll have a smaller box on top, and we'll use some of our quartz and other things for that. Papal pancetta. So, yeah, so that's where we'll be doing next week on Minecraft. So, thanks so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Join us again tomorrow as we're playing Monkey Island 2, like I just said. Like I said, I need the brain cell. No stream on Monday, no stream on Monday, no stream on Monday. Make sure that's clear. Because it's Memorial Day. I'm taking the day off. I'm going to enjoy it. It's supposed to be actually decentish weather, maybe, if it stops raining. We'll see. Hello, your host, Father Evan. I'm Peter. see what you did there. Tuesday, I don't know what we're doing. I forgot to look at the spreadsheet. We'll figure that out. And then more Minecraft. So again, hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Thank you for checking out the YouTube and the Discord. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and let's see who's live that we can raid into. I'm gonna throw you over to Inca because she's live. 3 texts, an imposter. Oh man, I want to watch that cough so badly. I wanted to be near her now. Anyway, raid call is Father Raid as usual. Use any emotes you got. Go give Inca some love. She's a fun person. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. God bless.